Welcome back to the Cozy Cottage Homestead. Today is a Wednesday. We're going to do our walkie-talkie, which this is how I started doing the walkie-talkies. I take my curly Q for a walk. Ruger's so old, he doesn't even have to be on a leash. But Curly, she might see a squirrel and take off running, so I have to walk her on a leash. But she likes to go for a walk. She looks forward to it. And we've been so busy at the rent house, so we haven't been taking our walks very much. We've been getting our exercise, just haven't been taking our walks. And Mr. Obi, little show off. And there's Mr. Ruger. So I was going to do a video today on something that some of you may have heard of. I don't know, it's fairly new to my husband and I. My mother-in-law had asked us, have we ever been magnet fishing? And of course we were thinking, okay, is she crazy or what? Never heard of going magnet fishing. So of course she told us more about it and we looked into it. And it is actually a pretty popular thing, magnet fishing. We were surprised that there are actually people that have started magnet fishing and become quite professionals at it. So she said she's gone a few times and she really liked it. It was fun. So we asked her, like what kind of stuff do you find whenever you go magnet fishing? And she said she finds all kind of like metal stuff because it's a magnet. You're going to find metal stuff. So I'm not really sure what the laws and rules and regulations are on the magnet fishing. But we did watch some videos on it. It seemed extremely exciting and fun to do. I can't even imagine all the stuff that you would find in old sloughs and creeks and lakes, especially at old homesteads and stuff. So we looked into it, and you can actually buy a magnet fishing kit that comes with a little dip net and everything, and a really strong magnet on string. So you would just throw it out there like you would when you were fishing, and you find all kind of cool things. So we asked her what's she going to do with all her treasures when she finds them. Well, she thought I was kind of crazy. She said she didn't really know. Maybe she would just collect them around her little gnome house, or depending on what she found, if it was worth something to keep. Because a lot of times people are finding things that are pretty neat, pretty valuable. So I told her, this is a pecan tree here on the property. We have probably 50 or 60 pecans that was planted on the homestead before we purchased it. So I told her pecan trees need iron. So if you find a bunch of oddball scrap metal, that you could bury it around your pecan tree. Well, of course, that changed the whole story. Now she thinks we're completely crazy and wanting to know how in the world would I think putting pieces of iron around the pecan tree, how would that help my pecan tree produce more pecans? So I told her, well, Aunt Nell, she is 91 years old now, and she told me back in the, I believe, 50s or 60s, late 60s, she had a pecan tree on her property, and it never would put on no pecans. So some old-timer friend of theirs stopped by. So she said, well, I'm just going to ask this fella, does he know what I can do to my pecan tree to make it put on pecans? It's just pitiful. It's not doing nothing. So he said, oh yeah, all you have to do is bury scrap iron, pieces of metal around the outside of the pecan tree. And that he had even heard of some people nailing old screws and nails and stuff to the pecan tree, to the bark around the bottom of the base of the tree. And so she was like, yeah, okay, sounds strange, but pecans need iron, so it made sense to her. So she said she didn't notice anything going on with the pecan tree the first year or so, but then that second year, after she planted all of that iron around the base of the tree, that second year, the tree finally put on the most beautiful, meaty, full of meat pecans that she had seen. So she made a believer out of me. If I find old scrap or go magnet fishing, I think I'm going to be saving that scrap iron and metal, if it's nothing valuable, and plant it around some of these pecan trees and see if it helps them put on pecans. So I thought that was kind of cool. And not only that, just the magnet fishing, from watching the videos and stuff, it seemed to be very exciting for like the whole family could participate in it, and just the excitement of not knowing what you're going to pull up out the water was just amazing. So I think that would be a great Christmas present for like a young family, or for anyone. So I'm definitely thinking about ordering that for my son and his family for Christmas. I think that would be a very unique and different type of Christmas present. I tend to like things that are unique and that are different. But I could just see that would just be so much fun for the kids to throw that magnet in the water and no telling what they would pull up. Now you do have to be aware. I did see some other videos on magnet fishing where people would find these bicycles. And I don't understand it, why people could be so cruel and so mean. But people were actually stealing children's bicycles and just throwing them over bridges and throwing them in the river, throwing them in the lakes at state parks and stuff like that. That's just so mean. So if you did pull up a bike on some of the videos that I've seen, it was required for you to call the police, because it could have been a bicycle with serial numbers that someone stole from some child. And that to me is just so sad. So I'm sure there's just no telling. Another video that we saw, someone robbed the bank, stole the money out the safe, and throwed it over the side of the bridge. And again, they had to call the detectives because they found a safe. So it was just amazing to me how much stuff that people were finding just from someone's unique idea to throw a magnet. And probably, I'm thinking, maybe they lost a watch or they lost something, so they just threw it out there, and then this thing just kind of happened. Now this magnet fishing is a big thing. I don't know how long it's been popular, but it definitely seems like something fun to do. I even think the little fish kits were just really cheap. But I'm sure, like everything else, you can definitely upgrade and get a stronger magnet or longer string or whatever. So just something fun that you can do with your family if you're looking for a new hobby or a new sport. I found that to be extremely interesting and exciting. So that's about it for today. Just want to do a little quick walkie-talkie. We've been just extremely busy at the rent house, but regardless of that, we still have to come home and get our chores done. So we're about done over there. We have a few more things to work on. And as the saying goes, if something can go wrong, it's going to go wrong. We've had a couple of things that we had to go back and redo and get finished. Thought we had everything that we needed, and then by the time you run back and forth to town to go pick up some stuff because what you had didn't work or it was too short, before you knew it, we had spent hours over there and felt like we hadn't really gotten much accomplished. Although we were definitely getting stuff accomplished, it just made it seem for a longer day because we had to go back and get more stuff. But that's how life is. Things do not always go as planned. So you have to just keep moving forward and not get discouraged and just keep working on things. And that's kind of what we do here on the homestead. We run into bumps and problems sometimes. We're just like everyone else. We work hard and we try to get things accomplished on the homestead. Do we get it all done? No, there's no way we can possibly get it all done. But every day we just keep working and trying and do what we can and keep moving forward towards the goals that we have. There's always something to do on the homestead. There's always going to be something to do. Something's going to need to be fixed or repaired. New little animal cages need to be built. Things just happen. It's life. Life just happens. So just keep rolling with it. keep working, keep preparing, doing what you're doing, and stay hopeful and don't lose hope. And just keep encouraging each other. And just work on things as you can and don't overdo it. So that's about it for today on the Walkie Talkie. I do hope and pray everyone's doing well. I know there's a few homesteaders that I really keep up with that are having a few issues. One had an accident with her eye. So I do really pray that her eye heals up fine and she can get back to doing things, because right now she's really having a difficult time. And then there's another lady that has a new grandbaby that was born with an awful lot of health problems. And I believe that baby is doing a little better. Thank you, Jesus. A lot of people have been praying for that baby and for that family. So I hope everyone else is doing well. And I'll talk to y'all pretty soon. So farewell, homestead family, friends, and neighbors. And thanks for joining me today from the Cozy Cottage Homestead.